Hi everybody, my name is Nairi. I run an adoption support channel, and today I'm going to deal with the joys and the struggles that adopters have said to me that they are experiencing. And these adopters range from people that have had children from 3 months right the way down to 5.5 years, and the age ranges as well were from 2 years old right the way up to 14 years. So the first thing that I want to tell you about is the joys that they explained to me. So quite a few of them mentioned the way that the children are now settled, and I guess that for some of us we think that settling is going to be quite easy. We think that if we offer them real love as an adoptive parent, they're going to settle really quickly, but unfortunately actually that's not really true. Most adopted children need time to settle, need time to make an attachment, form an attachment. So I think when adopters start to see some progress in that and see how settled the children are becoming, then that is a real joy, because it can be a heartache in the beginning. Something else that a couple of these adopters mentioned as well was the way that the children learn to play with each other, especially with siblings. And I guess as well, you would think it's a given, wouldn't you, that children know how to play well with other children, especially with their siblings. But in fact, we've experienced that that's not the case with our 2 sibling brothers that we have. Sometimes siblings can fight a lot, sometimes trauma and triggers can affect the way they interact with each other. What I've noticed with some of the joys that the adopters said as well is they are simple things, and I think that when we adopt, we think that we're going to do very demonstrative things for our children. We're going to take them everywhere, we're going to do everything for them, we're going to make up for lost time, we're going to give them everything that we feel that they haven't had. But a lot of these answers were based around very small things. One of the adopters simply said being together and enjoying each other's company, laughing together. So just simply being there for each other as a family, and being that family unit, that feeling of joy, of experiencing the happy times together. A couple of the adopters said that they were really pleased and proud to see how far their children had come. And this again is something that I think we underestimate, is how long the journey is. It's a journey of a lifetime, and it's not really until you've had the children for a while that you look back and see how far they've come. And I would encourage you, if you're in the early stages of adoption, you're thinking of adopting, or even you've had the child for a little while, it might be worth setting up your own diary or log, or making sure that you take regular photographs and logging that progress, because it's not really until you look back that you see just how much you and the children have achieved together, and that can be such a blessing to look back on. Another adopter said that they really enjoyed seeing the firsts of everything, and I know for us with our boys there were a lot of experiences that they hadn't had, so we were able to give them their first Christmas, their first birthdays, their first trips out, which they hadn't done before. And again, that is a simple thing, just thinking about what those first experiences might be and really making the most of them and really enjoying them. Another adopter said that she was really happy to see the children that she had, even the simplest things that they achieved which they had previously found hard. And I got the feeling from that message that it was very much about the tiny things that they were struggling with, but they'd managed to achieve, that other children might achieve really easily, but for them was a lot more difficult, and there was a real joy and pride in seeing that happen. So those are the joys, and I hope that encourages you, especially if you've not adopted yet, to see that there are some real joys in adoption. And perhaps if you needed a little bit of inspiration and you're an adopter, then maybe that's helped you too. So let's look at the struggles, because we can learn so much from these adopters, and I can just associate so much with what they're saying. One of the comments that rings really true for me is that one of the adopters said that people who have not adopted think they know it all, and they think they know the answers to everything, and actually they don't understand at all. And I think this is a real problem, because you can go to people that you trust as your support network, it could be family or friends, and try to explain to them what you're going through, but unfortunately those people will never truly understand what it's really like, and they can give you well-meaning but ill-fitted advice around your adopted children. I think it's really important to mention at this point that there is an adoption community on Instagram, and you can tap into it, and that's one way of finding support and help for your circumstances and your experiences. Even better is to find local adopters that you can actually meet up with, because really they are going to be the only people that truly understand what you might go through when you're dealing with children that have trauma. So that's one of the comments from this parent, who also said that they found therapeutic parenting really difficult. And I think therapeutic parenting is difficult because people think that they can do it all the time, or that there's one way to do it, and actually there's several ways to use therapeutic parenting, and actually you can't do it all the time. Sometimes you just literally need to put boundaries in place, and you can't be empathetic all the time. So another doctor mentioned the loss of connection to people during lockdown, and how that can be really difficult then to get the support you need. And I think you can't always find the support that you need online. You do sometimes need to see people and be able to interact with human beings, and not being able to do that during lockdown can make things really difficult. And certainly, like from a mental health point of view, whether it be for the children themselves or for you as an adopter, this is such a struggle, and it has been a struggle for myself. I'm not going to lie, I found it really, really hard, especially when our children have behaviour that escalates, and sometimes you can't reach out to get that support from other people. One adopter mentioned bonding and attachment, and I'm sure that this adopter would not be alone. This is a thing that is a struggle for people, as they expect it to happen really quickly, and it can take years and years to really start feeling that connection of attachment, which is very much a feeling. It's very much something that grows. It's not an actual tangible force. Another adopter mentioned how hard it is to look at her child and see how difficult things can be because of what they've come with, and how much of a struggle life can be in general, just to achieve what other children might need to achieve because of what they've come with. Again, can identify with that with our children who are going through assessments, have additional needs. It's really hard when you know that some of that could well have been caused by their early experiences, and it's okay to be sad around that. I think it's really important. I know an adopter said in some of the other answers that you need to acknowledge that sadness sometimes, the fact that you can't always manage to parent in the way that you want to for these children. There was an interesting comment from one adopter who said that they struggled at times with the adopted child favouring the other partner or parent, possibly because they had, come back from work and they were not the person spending the whole day with the adopted child. And that's really, really tough, isn't it? I would say that our sons are mixed in that. Sometimes they'll come to me for things, sometimes they'll go to my husband. But what I do notice is that actually I can be banging the drum about something I want them to do and they take no notice of me. Then my husband, they will take notice of. And I find that really hard. I sometimes feel quite rejected in the sense that I'm trying to parent in the correct way and it just doesn't work. So again, I can really identify with what this parent is saying. So one of the adopters mentioned adoption depression, and that came up in one of the other answers as well from one of the other adopters. And I think adoption depression is very real. I think it's something that doesn't get talked about very much, and it's something I definitely want to explore in another video. And I'm probably going to put some requests out there on Instagram for people to kind of take part in another little survey, so that I can get some real answers from real adopters in my next video. But adoption depression can mean that anxieties creep in when you think that you least expect it, and you're trying to do the best for the child, but those anxieties come in about whether you're doing the right thing and what people are thinking about you, and you just feel generally low, just like any person who's suffering depression. And I just think that really is something that needs to be explored a lot more, and I'd really love to see some sort of program out there for adopters that they can go on it anyway, whether they're likely to suffer from depression or not, because I think it would really, really help adopters to have something that can be a prerequisite and just help them not to have to go through some of these things that they might otherwise go through if they feel isolated. And finally, bedtimes. One of the doctors said that the effect of trauma is very real. It doesn't matter what amazing routine you have, bedtimes is an issue, and bedtimes is a traumatic issue for many children that have been adopted, and they get many triggers and things, and they wake up at night, and so bedtimes can be really difficult for them, as can be transitions and other things as well. So those are the struggles, those are the joys. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it's useful to you. Please subscribe if you've not found me before. Check out my channel. There's over 200 videos on there, and they cover therapeutic parenting, attachment, bonding, just general parenting. It's all on there, so look forward to seeing you on my channel. Thank you.